So, Danny from Seconds Out, delighted to be joined by heavyweight contender Hughie Fury. How you getting on?
Yeah, very good. Thank you very much. How are you?
Yeah, good. How's lockdown life treating you? You still managing to get some training in?
Yeah, I've been still doing a bit. Been doing a bit. With my dad, and doing a bit of body sparring as well.
What, with your dad?
With my dad, so he's still fit and healthy. So I've still been going, still been getting the work in.
He might not stay fit and healthy if he keeps body sparring you.
Listen, my dad will surprise you.
Well, as long as he don't surprise you, then we're all right. How kind of happy are you now that all this has happened, that you managed to get a fight in before lockdown? Because it must have been one of the last fights to take place.
Like I say, I was very lucky because we knew it was just about to start. This thing was going on, so to get the fight out there as soon as this happened was very very lucky.
And how do you assess that performance now against Pavel Sauer? I'm sure you've looked back at it. 3 round stoppage seems to be virtually punch perfect, at least from TV.
Yeah, like I said, yeah, I was only just working on a few. You didn't really see half of it. It was just warming into the fight, and like I said, we've been working on a lot of different things, but obviously you only seen a little eyeball, really.
And a lot was said in the build up to the fight from you and from Peter that you were looking to be a bit more aggressive, to take a few more chances. Certainly seemed like that was the case in that fight. Is that still the plan going forward as the opposition gets better?
Yeah, like I said, the stuff we've been working on in the gym is just basically just perfecting that style and just keep perfecting what we've been doing. Like I say, we said what we was going to do, and we did it.
What do you see as your route back to that top level? Obviously, you've had a world title shot before, came up just short, contentious decision as well. You've had a couple of setbacks since then, but there's reasons for both of those. How do you see your route back to another world title shot?
Like I say, it'll come. I've got time on my side, and like I say, now it's just about fighting whoever's in front of you and just getting back to the top. I believe I'm up there. And like I say, with these few little details, what we fixed and stuff in the gym, it's just now, it's just a matter of time. Time and waiting and keep perfecting it. And when the opportunity comes, we take it.
Because of the big fights you've had and how experienced you are, do you think people sometimes forget how young you still are? You're only 25.
Yeah, 100%. But that all plays in my factor. I've been there. I've seen everything. There's not much what will surprise me now. So when I'll be ready, take a few more fights, just get me thinking now. And when I do come to that opportunity again, I'll be more than ready.
One of your best performances as a pro so far was against Sam Sexton. Thought you looked excellent that night. Is there a case that maybe these domestic fights maybe bring out the best in you?
It's not the scenario of that. It's like anything. It's just perfecting the little different tweaks. It's like when the thingy is coming short, we just need right hand for the right hand. We fix that problem now. So, like I say, these fights as well perfection and we have third party out again because I believe the only person there beat myself in them, not them beating me. I'd say I believe I beat Parker hands down.
And talking of the domestic fights, have you got any interest in competing with the likes of Daniel Dubois, Joyce? I know they're set for their own fight, probably in July. But are they sort of names that you'd be interested in, or are you only looking at top world level now?
Like I say, I want to get to the top in the world level fights, but whoever my team was in front of me, I've never been shy from a fight or anything. So, like I say, I leave it to the team, whatever comes next, I fight.
What do you make of Joyce and Dubois, and particularly their fight? Who do you fancy?
Like I say, it's a good fight, and it's a 50-50 fight as well, so it's going to be an entertaining one, as you've got two different styles. So, I'd say it's a close fight to go on. It's going to be a 50-50 fight.
What do you make of their progress so far, particularly Dubois, because he's only 3 years younger than you, and he's being kind of hyped up to a level that you maybe haven't always experienced. I'm not saying there's any kind of envy or anything, but what do you make of how he's been built up, and has he got the talent to justify the hype?
Like I say to you, there's only one way to do it: is keep fighting and keep proving, isn't it? Like I say, stepping up the level with Joyce, and see, you'll always tell with the fight, with the level of opponent he gets. Then that's the only way to find out.
And you've sparred outside of the ring. Obviously, you fought some really good fighters anyway, but outside of that, in sparring, you sparred some really good people as well. Who would be the best person you've sparred so far since you've been pro?
Like I say, it's hard to say because the sparring is the sparring. It's like you can't take no detail to sparring. Sparring is just about learning, like just getting the timing right and stuff like that. So you can't. You can say, "Oh, sparring," and then to the fight, it's a different story.
Something I wanted to ask you kind of relates to sparring a little bit. We interviewed Savannah Marshall last week, and she was saying you're quite protective over her, particularly when she's sparring men. Is that all right?
Yeah, I don't like it too much.
That's what she was saying. She said you don't like hitting her, but you also don't like other fellas like hitting her or taking liberties.
Like I say, Savannah Marshall can hit, and she's for a girl, and obviously when she's sparring follows her own size and stuff, she's after taking her heads off, and then she's like, obviously they're not liking it, and they're trying to hit her for as well. I don't like that. See, I'm the old-fashioned type. I would believe shouldn't hit a woman, but obviously she's in the sport, isn't she? So it's got to be done.
Do you relish the setup at the moment? Obviously, you with your dad and with Savannah as well. It's not a massive camp, but it's an intimate one, and you all seem to get on really well.
Yeah, 100%. It's small, but it's precise, and yeah, everyone gets along together, and I think we've got a very good team.
And now working with Matchroom as well, what's that kind of brought to the table that you perhaps didn't have previously?
Like I say, it's the more fights and the more you can get them opportunities. So, like I say, now it's just a matter of fight. It's just getting the fights and building the top of it. But we pick this right back and we've got all good for the time.
You're very well known in your own right, but you've also got that Fury surname that everyone's going to recognise. So far in your experience, has that been a benefit or has it been a hindrance?
Me, to be honest with you, I'm not really bothered about stuff like that. It's just about mainly what I do is just get on with it and have fights. Not really pay attention to the whole outside and whatever else. I just get on doing my own thing.
So you don't find the kind of expectations are higher because of who you are and who your family are?
No, listen, fighting is in the blood. That's it. We're born to fight and we do that no matter what.
And what are we going to see from you, say, for the rest of this year? Because we don't know when boxing's going to come back, but I'm assuming you're pretty desperate to get back in there as soon as you can.
Yeah, 100%. Like I say, it's hopefully we get fights. Don't have to do against them. We just hopefully get out there as soon as possible. Hopefully this thing eases down and then we can get back to our old ways.
And just before I let you go, just tell us, outside of yourself, right now in the world, who are your top three heavyweights?
Top three heavyweights. What do you mean? Like me as a fan?
Yeah, just who do you think are the three best heavyweights in the world at the moment, apart from yourself?
Like you say, obviously the ones is the ones who's got the belts, isn't it? You've got Tyson, you've got Joshua. Obviously they're the best at the minute.
So then who's number three?
That's obviously in the gamble, isn't it? To wait and see.
That spot's there for you at least to start with, and then maybe aim for number one after that.
That's the plan.
Brilliant. Well, I really appreciate the time. It's really good here, and hopefully we get to do it in person once all this is over.
Yeah, no, 100%. And don't worry about it. And yeah, hopefully we'll see you in person.
Brilliant. Take care, Hughie.
All the best, pal. Take
Speak
care.
soon.